Call the order, the Charter Township of Oxford Board of Trustees special meeting Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023 at 6:31 PM. Call to order is there. Respects to the flag, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the deletion of item 10, new business, and move in item 11 and 12 up accordingly.
Second.
Oh, I have a couple questions. Item 10, new business.
Yeah, see, Jack, I had new business here already.
There's nothing down under new business, item 10.
Exactly.
So we would have went through that. We're still having item 8A, new business.
Correct.
Okay, all those in I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none. Public comments on items not on the agenda. Hello, Brian.
Good evening, Brian Cloutier, Director, Oxford Public Library. Just wanted to touch base with you this evening. I know I did reach out to a few of you this afternoon about our budget hearing that's scheduled for 2 weeks from tonight. And as soon as we get that budget approved by my board, I'll make sure that you have all the paperwork you need to be able to file everything with the county. Aside from that, I also wanted to just touch base and bring you up to date on the fact that we just wrapped up our strategic planning with our planners. I want to thank you for participating in that process. The information that we got from the community survey, along with the information we collected from all of you, is valuable to us in deciding how we move the library forward in serving this community. Got a lot of very good information. Aside from that, I also wanted to share with you that in January, December, January, and part of the first part of February, we will be hosting another Smithsonian exhibit. This exhibit is called Waterways. We're very happy.
I didn't hear that. It's called what?
Waterways. So it's about your natural resources and water and protecting wetlands and things of that nature. There's a lot more involved than that, obviously, but in short, we're looking forward to hosting that exhibit. This will be our second Smithsonian exhibit we've had. They're always a lot of fun. They are very educational, very valuable exhibits with very good information. So that information concerning that exhibit will be going out in not this upcoming newsletter that you'll be seeing in the coming weeks, but in our winter newsletter. We'll have all that information for you. It'll also be on our website. We're also working with, outside of our strategic plan, we're also working with a firm out of Arkansas that is known for developing library websites. We are in the process, we've been going through a lot of work on a weekly basis. We're meeting with this firm and we're putting together what will be our new website launched later this fall. We're looking forward to that as well. Additionally, some of you are aware that we've been looking at and exploring the possibility of having a whole building backup generator installed at the library. Some of you probably know we did go through a process for that, exploratory process, as well as awarding a contract on that. And on a generator that size, we're looking at probably close to 40 some weeks out. So around this time next year, we anticipate we'll have a generator on a pad that'll run the library. Obviously, you all know where I'm at, so if you have anything that you want to follow up with me in the coming months, I'd be more than happy to sit down with you and have that conversation, or you can call me. So thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Any other members of the public that want to comment? Seeing none, Board of Trustees comments. Tonight, we'll start on the right. Catherine?
I have no comments.
John?
It was wonderful to hear that the asphalt trucks were rolling up at Myers and the new Taco Bell. Hopefully that parking lot will have better flow through traffic when that's all done. That's a very positive thing.
I don't have any.
Treasurer Ferrari, none. Clerk Wright,
No comments tonight.
Trustee Charles,
I'd like to thank the library director for some of the exhibits that the library's put on. I was at a couple of those, like the one you had last year on the Pewabic, et cetera. That was first-rate job, so thank you very much.
okay. I have just one or two. Number one, I gotta thank Danielle and Susan for, they inactivated a lot of accounts on our budget system. They did a lot of work, got rid of a lot of lines that weren't used for years, consolidation of funds due to duplication in codes when we switched over to BSNA, so this budget should be clean. The other comment I had, we will, that's all I'm gonna do on those comments. Thank you. Okay, item 7, unfinished business. Railroad Safety Path Bid Award. Safety Path Committee?
Board members, the Safety Path Committee had gotten our bids back for the railroad safety path. The low bidder was Superior Excavating. We would recommend that we make a motion to award that bid. Only change in the motion is the $50,000 where it says from general fund, or put or safety path fund, because there's some discrepancy as to where that money actually is. And the person that kind of handles all that's been off on a funeral leave, so I'll check with that when she gets back.
Okay.
Any questions?
Trustee Charles?
What's the discrepancy?
It's whether the funds are in the general fund or the safety path fund.
I mean, whether it's there at all, or you're just...
No, which fund it's in. CJ
money
thinks
is
it's in
in.
safety path. I think it's a general, so we had checked the general ledger. It's been a couple of years now as to where it's actually at in the GL.
Let me help you with that. There was some that was brought in through grants, some that was brought in through donations from the landowners, some that was brought in through ARPA, some that was brought in through the Safety Path Committee, so he's got to work all those out.
I'd like to make a motion that the Oxford Township Board of Trustees accepts the low bid of $542,860 from Superior Excavating for the Railroad Safety Path project. The funds will be expended as follows: $10,000 from the Safety Path Fund for the Oxford Schools contribution, $50,000 from the General Fund or the Safety Path Fund to replace Safety Path Design Grant funds, $150,000 from the pre-approved ARPA allocation, and $332,860 from unallocated ARPA funds or the General Fund, contingent upon the next ARPA meeting recommendation to the Township Board.
Second?
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Nold. Are there any questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Charles?
Yes.
Trustee Noel?
Yes.
Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes, and Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
Jim, can you
Okay.
do us a favor and let the contractor know tomorrow to begin?
Jim?
Oh, Jim. Can you let the contractor know tomorrow to begin?
Yes, we'll know. Work's already begun. I mean, not the construction, but I will issue my typical notice of award letter. Then they give us their bonds and insurance just to make sure everything's up and up. And I've already spoken to them, and it sounds like they're going to be out there, maybe starting some work as early as next week. So, yep.
Thank you, Jim.
Mr. Supervisor?
Yes.
I have a clarification. You said the money, some money could come from ARPA or the general fund. If it were to come from ARPA, then it just stays in the general fund, the monies we don't use?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we did the roll call on that. That's a go. New business, item 8. Drainer Road Safety Path Boardwalk Replacement. Safety Path Committee?
Board members, as you know, the little Warden Boardwalk by 1344 West Drainers in disrepair. We got a quote from Jack Faith, who did some work for us before, and we figured, I talked to Supervisor Curtis and Clerk Wright, because of the nominal amount of $10,350, they felt, and I agreed, that by going through the whole procurement policy, you'd end up spending more money than what the bid's worth. So with that, I'll make a motion that the Oxford Township Board of Trustees waives its procurement policy and authorize the replacement of the small wooden walkway near 1344 West Drainer Road to be done by Faith and Sons, and of $10,350. This includes obtaining any necessary Oxford Township permits. These funds are to be expensed to the General Fund Safety Path Maintenance Account 101-231-933.297.
Second for comment?
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Nold. I'll take comments or questions.
Can you elaborate on the bypass of the procurement policy?
We looked at it, and because you have to go through bids, you have to get everything all done, and this thing's kind of been disrepair for quite a while. At least I've gotten a couple calls where people are putting their feet through it. We figure we don't want the liability. We want to get this prepared, and Mr. Faith can get it done to us get done in a very quickly manner.
So the main reason is for the safety of our
Exactly.
residents.
That's
you.
exactly.
Thank
I don't
you.
want little guys or anybody coming through and putting their foot through the boards, and
Thank you.
then we have a bigger problem.
Okay. Trustee Charles.
Why is it not paved?
Back when we got the easement, there's this tree that's right by it that the former homeowner felt that if we paved it, we'd take the roots away from the tree and kill the tree. I guess it's a very old tree. In order for us to get the easement back, God, what is maybe 10 or 11 years ago, a condition of that was that we put a boardwalk, we wouldn't pave it so we'd save her tree. Otherwise we wouldn't have gotten the easement.
So 11 years ago was the reason that we're doing this now, and we didn't look into having it changed this time?
Well, we'd have to approach the new homeowner, and the old homeowner talks to the new homeowner and says, you don't want to lose this tree. So they're kind of in agreement that we should keep the boardwalk.
Have we
Rod,
had any
this-
talk with the homeowner?
Let me help you out here, Rod. This whole project was done during the Obamacare cash money, and the provider of the services at the time was the lowest bidder, and they did it in accordance with the Obama funds. And this will be the third repair we've now done to that original work on this property. Engineer Sharp.
To answer Mr. Charles' question, we did a safety path repair project on Drainer Road last year, and we did some boardwalk improvements as well. This was on the list actually, and we did reach out to that homeowner to eliminate that boardwalk and just pave it when we were doing the safety path maintenance project.
When did you do that? I'm sorry.
That was about a year ago. About a year ago. And at that time, they said that because it was in the easement originally from the previous owners, that they were just going to abide by that. And so we did repair a couple of boards on there that we thought, were in disrepair, but it has gone further into disrepair, hence the reason it's on your agenda tonight. But we did approach those people and have like emails from them that said, sorry, but we just want to keep it the way that it is.
Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Nold.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes, and Trustee Charles.
I'm thinking.
Now the fun stuff, the budget.
Rod, vote?
I'll say no.
Okay. Well, thank you, Rod. Again, I mentioned thanks to Danielle and Susan for cleaning these budget sheets up immensely. A lot of work went into it. The date you'll see for year to date as of August 31st, that's in there showing all of the payments that are in queue now to be paid, so that we can have a better idea of what we're budgeting for the future years. So with that, the purpose of this workshop is to review the proposed 2024 operating budgets. So with that, we'll start with 101 General Fund. I will entertain questions from Trustee Colvin on the right, and we'll move to the left. Trustee Colvin?
I don't have any specific questions right now. And then I say, I'm just, the items that we are negative on here over, do we know why?
Which line is that? Is that 1600?
There's a few of them, like postage is one.
Here's what we were told, and Danielle, correct me if I'm wrong. First off, the Northeast Oakland Historical Society was issued a check. The check was never canceled and lost, so they reissued a check, and the negative amount is the cancellation of that check.
I believe you're correct.
Okay, what was your other one, Catherine?
There was a if there's election inspector fees.
Oh, that was, the postage machine materials that were sold after we switched the lease of the postage machine. Yep. Trustee Nold.
No, sir, we had a chance to meet yesterday and we spent about an hour going through the budgets. We did a good job. Thank you for your help yesterday.
You're welcome. Treasurer Ferrari?
The only thing I would change is under the revenue side, the 101-000-699-000.
Oh, slow down here. 101,
Last one on revenue. Which says transfer
101,
from.
000-699.00.
Yeah, I would get rid of that and put it under opening fund balance,
Okay.
which is 101-000-400.
Yes. Danielle, did you capture that?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's one thing I've got.
Clerk Wright.
So that, the 1.6 million from transfer fund is going now to opening fund balance?
Correct.
Is that what you're
Yes.
saying? Yeah. And that, the 1.6 million is for the transfers over to the other funds? Is that what they're,
Yes.
okay. And that includes, I have 1.1 for safety path, 400 for cemetery maintenance, 300 for fire, and 200 for road, which equates to $2 million, so I don't know if the cemetery's getting any, or I'm all not thinking right here.
Danielle, take that amount and transfer it out of the general fund.
Which one are we talking about?
Curtis said that it totaled $2 million for the transfers out. Now, let's look down under expenses. Do we have transfers to the cemetery fund?
Yes, 400,000,
Do we have transfers to the road fund?
Oh, you know, what? We don't have it for the fire.
200,000. We have 300,000 for contribution to fire.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yes,
Okay, so they're all indicated there?
all in expenditures, correct.
Okay, so what we had was, the current original budget and the opening fund balance for 2023 was $823,500. See it? Or you're not anywhere near it.
For opening fund balance?
Yeah. Keep going.
Right to the top.
So it's 835. Now, if you add 1.6 million to that, you'll have your 2.4 million. That fund, that original budget that's budgeted there will be transferred into and over to
That's fine.
24.
That's fine.
As you guys know, this is just a blueprint.
Yeah.
At the end of 2024, the board can change things around.
Yes, this blueprint for work, but we like to get it as finite as possible.
Exactly.
That's it.
Trustee Charles.
Speaking of blueprints, I can't remember the number that Catherine was just talking about, the $1,600.
Yes,
I have a question about the, and it's a procedural question there. What number was that, Catherine? It was on the
1650.
16.
$1,650.
What's the protocol we should follow for disbursements to non-township entities?
The Oxford Addison Youth Authority had to file a petition to request the funds for contribution.
Right. So Oxford Addison did, but I don't see it for Northeast Oakland. And I'm not complaining about the museum. I'm saying, should we be consistent? If we're
Yes.
giving money to entities,
Yes.
well, thank you.
We have
That's-
we have two contributions we make. One to OAYA and one to the North Oakland Historical Society. I don't believe we ever got a petition for requesting those funds.
I think we did years ago. Nothing recent.
Nothing recent. So Rod, good point. We will definitely ask for that this year. Brian, do you ever remember putting that out? It's just a form that you fill out.
That'd be like 10 years.
Yeah, I know that we've had this dialogue before, but I can't remember, there have been so many things in between then and now that I can't remember the specifics of it. I can look back through my emails though and see, if I have anything
It's a
in there.
while, Brian. Yesterday.
Okay.
It might just be easier to fill the form out.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, obviously, we'll do whatever you want us to do in terms of making the compliance happen. That's not a problem at all.
Thank you.
If I may interject, Brian, it's a form that just for accountability purposes. It's nothing you probably deal with much more complex issues than this. It just says a resolution of the board that says whatever else, that's all.
But I do recall having a conversation or an email dialogue with someone here, if it wasn't the supervisor, I can't remember who it was, but I'll look back and see what I have.
Thank you, sir.
Certainly in the interim, if you need something, just, you know where to
But
find
we can send you the form and then you can give back before
Yep.
our next board meeting?
you send me whatever you want to send me on that respect, and I'll take a look at it, and absolutely, we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Any more questions on the general fund? Yes, sir.
That form will have to be in by tomorrow at 4 o'clock to get on the August 9th board agenda. Otherwise, it waits till,
It can wait till September, because we normally don't pay it until,
Yeah, you
we've
want-
already paid this year's,
For
yeah.
2024 anyway.
But if you can get it to us
So you're aware.
retroactively, that's fine too.
Okay. Any other questions? General fund. Seeing none, item 9B, road fund. Are there any questions? Catherine?
What's the, I guess, the main driver for the difference?
I'm sorry?
What's the main driver for the difference between 2023 and 2024?
The main difference is we are trying to improve and add gravel to more of our roads due to citizen complaints.
And chloriding is now coming out of this.
Yes.
Okay.
Trustee Nold.
As we talked yesterday, Jack, I have a problem with the word contingency. I think that's too broad. I'd like to see things more narrowed down, but it's up to the board's pleasure on that.
Okay,
So I can-
we handled that.
we did.
Sure. Under the road fund, we have no monies in contingency for 2024. We put it all under highway road maintenance control. So maybe my sheet's newer?
Nope, you're correct.
Okay.
thank you.
Treasurer Ferrari,
All set?
Clerk Wright,
Just a comment that our tri-party monies will probably come out of here as
Yeah,
well.
yep, that's going there too.
okay, and Trustee Charles.
No, I had the same question as Trustee Noel about the word contingency. It's a little ambiguous, so I'm glad you took care of it.
Okay, I have none. Time for Ms. Lindsay and Chief Matt to shine on fire department budget. Here it is, 206. Okay, board members, in front of us is the fire fund. Some questions that you may have. Trustee Colvin?
Same question, it's just what's the main driver for the increase between 2023 and 2024? Is it just pay raises or
Under which account?
on the total appropriations? Is there a main driver, or is it just increased costs of things?
They're spending their fund balance.
Increased costs have played a huge role this year, but we're also have the vehicle purchases that are going to be huge, really big.
Huge.
Yeah. So
Okay.
And two of those were carried over from last year's budget that we weren't able to get in time. So it actually, that money went back into fund balance, and then we're just basically taking it back out.
Okay. Trustee Nold?
Happy to see that you have 0 for contingency. Thank you.
Any questions, Trustee Nold?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Treasurer Ferrari?
Board members, Supervisor Curtis and myself discussed this. It's probably gonna come to a future board meeting. We have transfer from general fund to 12-1 for the Stony Lake property taxes.
Yeah.
We might end up doing something different with that, only because we give 300,000 a year anyway. You know, so we're looking at maybe,
It's $12,100 or something like that. Every time, you know, it's earmarked for the fire department, but we have 2, 3, 4 different transfers, and it's all in the general fund money. Want to just take that in, and you'll take note that you're going to get that money every year.
Okay.
It just cleans it up. Anything else?
nope, no, I'm all set, thank you.
I have a question. Delinquent taxes, 206 000412000. We went from $572 to $110,000.
Why you got 110 in there?
That's what you told me to put in there, Joe.
Probably 1,100. Not 110,000.
No, you did say it
Yeah.
that day we had the meeting. You said 100.
Yeah, 110. I wrote it down and I
Okay,
changed it.
so the next time we come back, we'll have.
That was
we'll
at,
have
that was at the
corrected.
meeting that we were in the small conference room that day.
Yeah.
That's probably like
Because we asked you for clarification, and you said it was delinquent taxes, yeah.
I'm pretty
I
sure I
think- no, I
questioned
think
you
it's
on that
EDIP.
too.
All right.
They got our lines messed up.
Well, Joe and Lindsay and
We'll get it straight.
Matt will figure that one out.
Mr. Supervisor?
My next question, is that in regard to this?
Yeah, does it come out of Joe's money?
20600063500 Acumed Oxford Bank. In 2023, you received $73,567.41, and for 2024, you're budgeting nothing.
So that's all included. If you look down at 688,
010 Acumed.
yes,
reimbursement.
it's all in that account.
I've included
Yep.
in that one, thank you. And the second one down, interest savings account. Year to date, you've collected 105,000, and for 2024, you're projecting only 60,000. Please tell me to get my money out of the bank.
I don't know what the interest rates are gonna be.
I think that might have been, we're just estimating conservatively in case things drop, if I remember.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'd
I'd
go
rather
with
be
that. I just
conservative and come in hot at the end.
Is there any way you could work with Danielle to clean up your debt accounts too? You know, how we did that with general fund? I think that's why Jack has these questions.
We did it with all of them.
Yeah,
We did it with all of them.
and I had sent emails prior to this to ask for a couple of my accounts to be eliminated because they were unused.
Just trying to straighten it
Yeah,
out.
I am too. I
fine.
appreciate it. Makes it easier.
My last question is benefits, pension plan, employer share. That's 357718000. Year to date, you've collected 645,000. And for 2024, you're budgeting 437. In 2023, the budget was 917. So that number stuck out like, are we not getting something? Are we 206-357-718-000?
Yeah. It's a huge one.
You might want to take a look at that. What, do you see it on there?
Yeah, no, I will.
It's a couple $100,000 that you're not budgeting for as revenue, and I'd hate to see you not be able to get that.
I'll look
So-
into that. I'll let you guys know tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. And after that, I think that's all I had. Clerk Wright?
I had one which is operating supplies medical.
Oh,
That was, yeah. that's
that
an
was
easy one.
okay. So
Which fund number is that?
That would be
742.
Expense or revenue?
expense 206-357-742.000.
So we had a COVID grant, and we had to spend so much money. It was like 33,000 somewhere in there. So when we were actually spending that money, I coded it all to that fund specifically so I could keep it straight because I didn't have a separate fund for it. And so that's why you see the difference, because we're not really spending that much money.
It's going back to normal then.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
yes, exactly. Yeah. That's inflated because of that COVID grant.
That's my own.
Okay. Trustee Charles, Fire Fund.
I'm good.
Okay, moving on. 207, Police Contracting Fund. Let's go the other way now. Trustee Charles?
Okay, let me turn the pages here first, catch up to you a little bit. I didn't write the numbers down, let's see. Give me a second here. Catch up. Well, one of them is, and you can find the numbers on there, the school, here we are. 207-000-582-001, Oxford Schools Liaison.
Yes.
We're getting up to about $250,000 there from last year, so we hired another person, right?
Yes.
My question would be, this is what we're paying into the school system, and I have a few questions. So what is the school system contributing?
in 2023, we reached an agreement with the school system to pay 100% of both school resource officers for 9 months, and then the township picks up the rest. And what you'll see is 220, a school resource officer is $111,000 a piece for 9 months. So that's the expenditure under 2023, but those liaison expenses are going to go up again in 2024.
Okay, in the school system, we cover several townships, correct? Metamora Township, we cover Addison Township.
Now,
What
we
are they
cover Oxford Township and we cover Addison Township.
And part of Lapeer.
We don't have any schools in Lapeer.
We have taxpayers in Lapeer who send kids to Oxford schools. But regardless, my point is, what are the other ones kicking in besides us?
They aren't kicking anything in other than what they're kicking in their school property taxes.
So they're not putting in anything then, compared to their township. So Addison's not contributing anything, it's all in the back of the Oxford taxpayers.
No, it's all on the back of the Oxford school system.
So what is this item then?
That's the revenue that we get from them,
From them being,
the school system.
so we're getting the money from them,
Yes,
and we're not putting in anything then.
no,
That's pretty simple then.
yes,
We're getting money in, and they're putting the money in, and we're not spending it.
correct.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because as I started to say, if we have children from different townships, they should all be contributing, not just Oxford Township. So you're saying that we're good in that respect, and the township taxpayers aren't being.
The township taxpayers are not paying for 9 months of the school resource officers that work in the schools. The school system, community school pays for it out of there.
Oops.
Okay?
Good.
That it?
That's it.
Clerk Wright,
I really don't have anything on the fire or the police road.
I have nothing. Treasurer Ferrari,
I don't have anything.
Trustee Nold,
No, sir.
Trustee Colvin.
Just one question. I know we've talked about expanding the substation, and there's a $1.5 million budget where'd that number come from? Do we have a,
That is a
Estimate?
swag.
okay. Okay.
Talking to the architect and what they've done and what we've done in the past, that is a scientific, wonderful analogy of a guess.
Okay.
Okay, no more questions. 208, Parks and Rec Fund. Do we have any questions on Parks and Rec? I don't see them here tonight, so if we have questions, we'll forward them on to them.
Okay, let's catch up for a minute though.
I'll start with Trustee Charles.
I'm moving, you're faster than I am, Supervisor Curtis, once again, so I'm moving my cursor here. We're on to cemetery is where we are, we're still talking Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Nothing major, I just had a quick question. We went from $30,000 for softball to $50,000, so I guess I assume that, and there's nobody here to answer the question, we must have more softball players anticipated, but
Again, that's what I would presume, but we can get you an answer. What account number was that?
Oh.
I don't want anything to go unanswered.
Is it a revenue?
Revenue, youth softball. And that was item, it went from
went from 30,000 to 50,000. But if we get an answer later, that's fine.
youth softball. Went from 30,000 in 22. Trustee Charles, I have to talk to you later about this one. They've already spent 53,000 or received 53,000 for youth softball, and they're only going to see 50,000 next year. That's what they're saying here.
Okay.
Okay, Clerk Wright.
Just a couple points that, under account 208-751-830.
Revenue or expense?
Expense.
708.
208-751-830.900, credit card service fees. I was wondering why they're,
That's under expenses.
yeah, I was wondering why they're paying for their credit card services.
Well, that's the credit card service fee that they're paying for when a person
Correct.
charges something. Now, do they offset that with the increase in the fee, or are you want me to ask them if they are recovering their costs and what account they're recovering it in?
Yeah, I would like to hear if they're actually
Okay.
covering their costs.
Give me that account number again, please.
208-751.
Hold it. That was my problem. I missed the page. 751 Go ahead.
830.900.
830. Wow. They got a big budget. Okay, 751
830.
83. I don't have that. 751 830.
Right there.
Okay, right.
There you
Credit card services, $10,000
go. Budgeted.
under expenses. I'll chat with Phil.
Yeah, my other comment or curiosity is their capital outlay, 208-751, 970.001. Just curious on what they're going to be spending their money on.
That I can't answer you.
Yeah, 125,000 for capital outlay. Maybe there's nothing, but maybe it's just a budget line item. My other comment is that it looks like they're doing really well with their efforts of their programs, because they're basically going to exceed last year, it looks like, at this time, all things being equal.
Okay.
That's it.
Treasurer Ferrari,
Oh, all set.
Trustee Nold,
I'll just make an observation that they sure have a lot of activities and line items that they manage through the parks. And I commend them for that. The only questions I have is same thing as Curtis. I want to add contingency 208-751-890-000 for $11,850. And then going down to the capital outlay for 125, 208-751-970-001.
and what is your question on that one?
What were their plans for those?
Oh, that we'll have to ask Philip on that. Trustee Colvin?
I just have a question on medical insurance medical. They're budgeted, 3,500 and they're trying, for 2024, they want 23,000. That seems like, I mean, are we expecting medical insurance rates to skyrocket?
What account number is that, please?
208-758-716.000.
7587 insurance medical. Whoa. That's a Phil question. We'll get back August 9th. That's it? Moving on. Cemetery Fund, 209. Balances of revenue and expense, $400,000. Are there any questions? Trustee Charles.
No.
Clerk Wright.
No questions, no comments.
Treasurer Ferrari. Trustee Noel.
No, sir.
Trustee Colvin.
I'm all set, thank you.
All right. 239, Telecommunications Fund. Trustee Colvin.
I don't have anything for this.
Trustee Noel.
Yes, contingency for $12,911 projected for 2024.
That's usually what we get from the state for the right-of-way. This year, they underpaid us by about $6,000. They said they're gonna put us that in next year's payment. I wrote an email saying, no, I'd rather have that this year. So that might increase for next year. That's basically put there because we're trying to figure out exactly where we want to spend those monies. Some of it's been used for safety path maintenance.
Telecommunications is a manna from heaven.
Correct.
And usually it's used, like Joe says, for different things. There aren't a bunch of funds, nor do we want to add them. So it just goes into the contingency fund.
Any work done in the right of way?
Yep. Trustee Colvin,
I'm all set.
thank you. Building Department, 249, Department Fund. I'll start with Trustee Colvin. Under revenues,
No, I'm all set with the building. Fund.
okay. Trustee Nold,
No, sir.
Treasurer Ferrari,
I'm all set.
Clerk Wright,
What do I have here? I don't think I have anything on this. Is there contingency in here? I don't see anything. Is there?
Yes, there is,
$470.
Yeah.
that's bait, so you guys got something to
Oh,
question.
yeah, there's, yeah, there's nothing in there on that. No, I'm all set.
$470 in contingency. That's probably the budget balancer.
and I have no comments either.
I was getting to you next, pal. I'll start with you first. Cable TV Fund, 296. Hi, Terry. Hi, Dennis.
How are you?
Good, and you? Do we have any questions, starting with Trustee Colvin?
Well, I spoke with Terry earlier, that I didn't understand this line item, net revenues and appropriations, but if you want to explain, Terry.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Just what we talked about earlier, this line item that I didn't understand that apparently is
Which one?
not accurate. Yes.
Which account number is
It's
it?
not an account number, it's just,
The expenditures, it shows that I'm 16,000 in the hole. These are not my figures. The budget that I submitted is different than the budget that I received, and I submitted a balanced as of the end of June. And then I got this one that's unbalanced for the end of August, through the end of August. So what I would have done, figuring that out, is amended my line items. So I don't know where those, I'm sure the figures were, Because this copy was pulled after Susan probably already imported some of your bills.
right.
So
Yep.
this most recent copy was pulled
Yep.
July 27th.
That's what I figured, especially in the wages department, but, and the bills as well. And, so let me explain my contingency line item. Let me find it first. It's, 296,890. Prior to my being the manager and a previous treasurer, she did not have that amount in our budget, and it made our general fund look huge. And we were hearing people say, if they have such a huge general fund and it's just sitting there, why are we giving them funds? And I'll explain our franchise fees for those who don't understand them in a minute. So I decided to put them in our, to put that amount in our budget so that at least everybody can see exactly what we have, what kind of money we have. This contingency fund is there to help me amend our budget without depleting our general fund.
Okay, so your opening fund balance of 250,000 includes that 181,000?
Yes, 135.
$181,280.
Oh, yeah, right, yep,
Okay.
yes.
So what the question is, under contingency, it looks like you just got a lot of money floating around
Right.
unallocated.
Right.
So, advice, put it where
Take
you're
it.
gonna spend it, and then bring that back.
Got it. Okay, yep.
Who are we on?
Did you have some questions?
I was going one way or the other, I thought. Did I
Yeah,
leave off?
sorry.
Catherine.
I think you started with me and I was the only one.
Yeah. Trustee Nold?
You handle the contingent, you're gonna find a home for that next time
Yes,
out.
yeah. I like the way you put that, Jonathan.
And then give me an example of your capital improvements for equipment. You went from 2022 to 18,000, 2023 to 23,000, and now you're back down to 15,000.
So periodically, we have to replace some of our major equipment. In the last couple years, we've replaced our studio equipment, our studio cameras. The 15,000 I'm looking at, we may have to replace our I'm saying teleprompter, our studio recording equipment, and that's about 15 to 20, TriCaster.
Thank you. I'm all set.
And we do have a
Ferrari?
3 to 5 year plan for our equipment replacement. We have a 3 to 5 year plan for our equipment replacement that I keep rotating.
Treasurer Ferrari?
I'm also, a lot of times, the reason why I don't comment on these is I'm kind of Jack and Curtis, I got insider information. We was involved on this stuff right from the beginning.
My eyes have been over this 300 times. I'm
So it's
missing
like,
a couple of
I've already seen these before.
What the heck?
I'm all set.
No, I just was looking, somebody who's out in the parking lot. Clerk Wright,
Just a curiosity, you're gonna read back amended numbers. Do they have to be run through your cable commission to us first?
Yes, our budget is approved in normally December, but I'm going to try to get it approved in November.
we have to turn this into the county on September 18th.
And you won't be turning this one in, you'll be turning one in that I,
That you
correct?
correct the
All right, I can
contingency.
get that done for you.
Super.
What's the date? I'm sorry. Say that again?
September 13th, I'm sorry.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Will do.
Okay, thank you. Clerk Wright,
All set, thank you.
Trustee Charles.
Items 296-000-477-002, and the other one too, by the way, which is similar.
Franchise fees.
296-000-477-010, which goes back to what you mentioned earlier, Terry, about if you could define franchise fees and PEG fees, and then I have a follow-up to that too.
Yes, I can. So the franchise fees that you see on your cable bill goes to each community. Addison Township gets franchise fees, Leonard, the Village of Oxford, and the Township of Oxford. As far as PEG fees goes, initially, when cable boards were created and the franchise fees and PEG fees were created, there was a 2% PEG fee given to each community, which was to be used strictly for capital expenditures. There was no negotiations. The communities could not keep the PEG fees. Somewhere around 2014, so I wasn't in management at the time, I didn't have a very big voice. Everybody had to renegotiate, each community had to renegotiate their contract, and they had the option to renegotiate their contract with the PEG fee, or if they didn't say anything about a PEG fee, they went away. So some communities have PEG fees coming in now, some don't, and it depends on whether it's AT&T or Spectrum, Charter, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not real clear on which communities are paying that because we just get one lump check from, say, one community as opposed to we get a breakdown from the Oxford Township exactly what PEG fees we're getting and what franchise fees we're getting. As far as franchise fees are concerned, the community can keep all of them. They can keep 2%, 1%, whatever they want. Currently, Addison Township keeps half of the franchise fees. There's they also keep half of the PEG fee, but they lump them together and then split it all in half. Leonard is supposed to keep half of, a little less than half of the franchise fees, although we haven't seen a franchise fee from Leonard since 2021. The Village of Oxford has been keeping half of the franchise fees until their meeting in April. They like what we're doing and they're giving us another 25%. So now we'll be getting 75% franchise fees from the village. We're getting full everything from the township, and that it has been full support all along.
Okay, what was your follow-up question, Trustee Charles?
So what do we do to get rid of this disparity?
The disparity in what?
What Oxford Township contributes versus the other three communities?
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
I've been
The
here,
question is, what do we do about it?
Well, so also, you also need to re-sign your interlocal agreement in 2025. So you guys will all have to get together and,
we have an agreement reached to give them all till 2025.
but each board can make whatever decision they want to make.
Yes, this board made a decision to give them all 100% till 2025, correct?
I don't know if it's till 2025. I just know they just always give them 100%.
And
Yep.
if I can get on my soapbox just for a minute, and this is my
Now, this is a
personal
budget
opinion.
meeting. Let's talk about the numbers,
As far
okay?
as the numbers go, those funds come from your residents. That's
Okay.
my soapbox.
Yep,
Right, I agree with that. Back when this first happened, I pushed for everybody to give the same amount. You know, if everybody's giving 50.
we're getting off
give
the
50.
budget.
That's true.
It's budget because it's talking about the dollars and cents.
No, it's not. You're talking about the philosophy of who gives what. We need to know what the budget money is. Let's
Well, the
talk
budget
about
money is
that.
based on who gives what.
You got it right in front of you.
Well, my point is, why is it that way, and what do we need to do to
That's a
change it?
different philosophical thinking. We can go there if you want, but not tonight. It's drug out. It is old, it's long, it's very complicated. We can talk about that at a board meeting.
Well, maybe we should, because there's a lot of items besides this that might be the same way, so.
I respect your opinion. We will do that.
Can I also add something about how I'm going to figure out the budget this early? We only currently have 2 quarters of revenue. So I'm really guesstimating what I'm going to be giving you by September 13th.
Thank you.
Okay?
Any other questions?
No, nothing here.
Seeing none. Terry, you'll owe us an answer on the contingency done.
You got it. Thank you.
Safety Path Fund, 297.
Okay, board members, a couple.
I'm sorry, Supervisor Curtis, board, if you just, it's been bothering me, the question you had about that one fund. We don't budget for whether or not you folks are going to, make a contribution to the pension plan, for the fire thing. That's why we don't have it in our, that's why that money's not there. It was bothering me, I had to pull it up into on the phone, took a little time, but that's why there's that discrepancy in that one fund. It comes whether the board passes a motion to pay that shortcoming of the pension system as a result of the whole village thing back in the day. So
Okay, thank you.
I'll verify that with Lindsay and have her touch base, just to, but
Every year we do budget amendments.
exactly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Rod, not to cut you short, but we're going through the numbers. But what you were talking about is philosophical. Terry's been at 100 meetings in 100 communities talking about PEG fee, franchise fees. And I know that it is unpalatable in some communities. If you want to bring it up, we'll make it an agenda item for sure.
Okay, do that.
Okay? Safety path.
Board members, based on, and Danielle, I apologize for this, I didn't tell you to do that part. They changed the safety path contribution in general fund, so we need to change 297,000,699,101 to 1,100,000. And then change that total 1,105,000. Then on the appropriation side, change 297,852,890 contingency to 1,075,500. And that'll keep revenues and expenditures balancing at 1,105,000. The main project we have for the safety path fund is gonna be Lakeville Road and possibly doing Seymour Lake Road from Dunlap Road all the way to Sanders.
And
Well, Curtis, if you
All right. First off,
have- yes.
board, do you just understand what Treasurer Ferrari is requesting? So I hear no questions.
Excuse me,
Yes.
Supervisor, yeah, I do, but I was waiting my turn.
Oh, okay.
And
Your turn.
We're transferring a lot of money into the fund from our general fund, and we're throwing it down in contingency, my favorite little fund. And we need to break that out to use some predictability with certainty on how that money's gonna be spent.
I can fix that right now because attached to the sheets and line item 297-852-808.000 is Seymour Lake Safety Path Project showing $0. If you put the amount that is requested of 800 and
We can do that too.
you could put it in there and it gets it out of contingency.
I like that idea even better, Jeff.
Well, that way you're committing the money, but everybody knows this money is coming out of the general fund for the completion of the safety path.
Where'd you get your 800 from? Oh, right here, sorry.
Yeah, 800. It was 800 and
39,225?
the first portion of the path, 839,225, that's what you want to take out of, you want to take the difference out, put it in the opening fund balance from the general fund. Oh, there it is, transfer from the general fund. You have to add that number to the 500,000 up on top.
And that gets you to the 1.1, which.
No,
from
that's
general.
1.3, 1.39. Well, I'm sorry. 839,225 and 500,000. It's 1,339,000.
I'm talking, first we're getting the 600.
Okay, in
from general.
appropriations revenue,
Are we in general?
general.
General, I thought it was 1.1. I
Okay,
just read that.
297,000,699.101. Transfer from general fund. What is the total amount you wanted transferred from the general
I
fund?
thought it was 1.1. Isn't that in here somewhere? Hold on here, Jeff. Never seen this. Let me get you a fund at the end. See it at 101,995,967.297?
Say it again.
101,995,965.297. Contribution to Safety Path Fund in the general fund. That's where I'm getting that figure from.
Okay. And what was that figure?
1.1 million.
1.1 million. You add that to
The revenue on the
the
transfer from
revenue
general
is then
fund.
1.6 million. And then you take 1.1 million and you put it in the safety path, Seymour Lake Safety Path Fund, correct?
Hold on, I can change that.
And then your contingency still remains at 475,500. And what you're using that for is,
Supposedly Lakeville Road. Unless we get that done early, we had to do a regrouping on that.
and the regrouping was done because of a misunderstanding with the engineer and the Safety Path Committee,
Yep.
and the motion made and approved by the Township Board.
We're gonna get back on track.
Thank you.
And Danny, I'll go over these numbers with you.
Yeah, I'll get it imported and we can review tomorrow.
Okay.
So that,
Trustee Noel,
so the Lakeview is 475,500?
No, that'll be more because remember we're transferring over 600,000.
Lakeville.
Lakeview, I'm sorry.
Remember, your total revenues right now is 1,105,000. You got 839,225 committed to Seymour Lake. I got to do the difference.
Can we open an account up for the Lakeville?
Yep, I can put something in there.
You're thinking Tanview, John.
No, yeah. Well, there's so many Lakes View, Lakes Edge, Lakeville, Lake. So what you would do then, Danielle, is you'll have to open up a 297-852-808.003 Lakeville Road Safety Path.
That's a good idea.
And you're gonna put the contingency in there to get rid of it.
What does that cost? Oh, no, probably got it
What
right
does
in
it
front of me.
cost? I don't know. It's out for engineer review right now. And we'll have to get
Chris, do you
that
remember
back.
the amount? 3 something or 4 something?
An engineer estimate on Lakeville?
I'll get
I don't
you.
have the floor.
I got it right here. Hold on.
I know we had it. Oh, what's that total figure at the bottom?
The bottom, 259,000.
Perfect, 259. Okay, we'll do the adjustments. You'll get a clean copy come your August 9th meeting.
Okay, and then there'll be zero in contingency because we'll
We'll move it around.
move it to where it belongs.
Mr. Supervisor?
Yes.
Then is the board to assume they're gonna do the Safety Path is gonna do 2 major projects next year? The Lakeville Safety Path and the Sanders Road, the first leg of it or the first part of it?
That's what we're proposing.
We are budgeting the money so that we can do those 2 projects however far the money will get us. Because he has it broke down in segments. If one segment comes in less and we don't do another segment, we'll take that money and go to another segment. Yes. Clerk Wright.
Yeah, I sat on the Safety Path Committee and I take an opposing view to that because our chairperson thinks it's a done deal to move forward with these 2 projects. My thinking is that we're doing the railroad safety path. My opinion is to take some of that money and continue to finish the loop on M24 in front of Meyer all the way into the village limits.
So we're having a safety path meeting now.
We are having a safety path meeting.
So what we need to do is get this budget so we have a contingency fund open till the safety path committee comes back to us and makes a township board
Yep.
recommendation on
I-
what's gonna be done next.
I propose
That'll
that.
be
Is
after
that
all this.
philosophical, Jay?
No, what I'm saying is you wanna get rid of the contingency fund. We know it's going to a safety path. I was trying to get rid of it by adding it to a path, but I understand what Clerk Wright's saying. We can't do it until the board approves it. So we can't put it into an account and say we're gonna do it, and then the board comes back and says, no, we don't wanna do that.
That's why it's always a contingency,
That's why it's always in contingency.
till you get board direction.
But I'm trying to make everybody happy, cause
That's why
I'm not
contingency's
happy.
there.
Yeah, and
Well, the board decides what it wants to
Any
do.
other questions on safety paths?
So we'll go back to contingency.
Now we'll go back to Pollyann Trail Fund. Hold on here. I got a question. What is this? Contributions, Oxford Township. Do they fill out a form?
That's based on the
Mr.
formula.
Supervisor?
They haven't-
With all due respect, it's not on the
it's
agenda.
not,
Yeah, this was removed.
I don't have it on the new agenda.
Well,
It's not.
it's not.
oh,
Is that an old version?
yep.
It's an old, it was pre-posted before.
Item
the-
11, public comment. Is there any public wants to comment on this debacle? I thought it went real well. We have I got you, Brian. I just want to say, everybody has busted hump. Danielle has gone around and sat with Joe, with Curtis, with Susan, Lindsay, with Phil. We've done it all. So this is probably one of the cleanest, fastest budgets this board's ever seen. Mr. Director.
Yeah, I don't know if you can answer this here or not, but my understanding is based on, and it's budgetary, so my understanding is, based on what Raina has shared with me, she anticipated the PPT funds were gonna be similar or comparable to what we've been receiving all along. Is that an accurate assumption, Joe?
Yeah, a couple
Okay.
$100. Don't get that much.
Okay. And then the other question I have is the interest earned on the My Class accounts. Is it a fairly good assumption to say that we're probably likely gonna be leaving those funds there for the,
I'm assuming things are to continue going well. I've not heard, the Fed's raising interest rates again. So I'm
because those have
assuming
been
it's gonna
generating significant amount of revenue. That's why I'm,
I
You know.
think you're saying, what do we do with all that interest? We're keeping ours in the bank.
we'll put it in the contingency fund. No.
Good answer.
Brian,
All right.
perspective, from year to date for all of our funds together, we got $876,000,
Is that as
In interest.
of July 31st?
July 31st.
Because I only got 740,000, but I got the June report.
Now you have the July one.
Okay.
And then one last comment, sort of
Yes, sir.
related to budget, but not my budget. I happened to go through the cemetery today, Oxford Township Cemetery on the
Yes.
south side. The
the south
mausoleum is in pretty bad condition. I don't know if you've, that's what that
is
money.
it?
The mausoleum on the south side is in pretty bad shape. Matter of fact, there's like trees growing out of the roof at this point. So just want to bring it to your attention. If you didn't know, that's going to be a significant expenditure when time comes, so.
We are dumping a large amount of money in there, unprecedented amounts of money in the cemetery. You see the trees we're planting, we've got $500,000 quote on fixing all the walls, and it is. So,
Expensive.
that's it, folks. What am I looking for?
I'll make a
I'd
motion
like to make a motion
adjourn.
to adjourn.
I got a motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none? Close, 7:35.
Hey, Jack, you